Hello there, my online family. It's Veronica, and those of you that are close to me, you call me Roni. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping in, and I truly appreciate you staying to the end because I have some important sentiments that I'd like to share with you. And this video, my topic is being a mother in the classroom, my journey with United Readers, and what's next. So, again, I want to welcome you. My name is Veronica again, and I'm a proud AmeriCorps member and United Readers literacy mentor with United Way of Northern Nevada and the Sierra. Well, as of Friday, that was my last, affiliation with those two awesome programs due to federal funding cuts. So in this video, I'm going to go ahead and go into my service journey, family involvement, what's next, and how the reading mission continues. So I was a United Readers mentor at Cottonwood Elementary here in Fernley, Nevada. Last term, I served at Sun Valley Elementary School, which is in Sun Valley, Nevada. My experience has been, I can say for the most part, it's been joyful because being an online student at 53 and working with students daily, I'm able to pour into them, and I'm able to pour into my studies what I learn from the students. And that truly helps as I'm going into organization and project management. So it has been a joyful journey and a lot of learning for myself. So moving on, I'm sorry, I'm just trying not to get emotional on here, but you guys bear with me, and like I said, please stay to the end. I just want to talk about being more than a literacy mentor, because when I was in the classroom or even walking through the halls, other teachers and students knew of me, Miss Roni, United Readers, oh, the reading group. And that was a great feeling. And most of all, I think what stands out for me was our, second to last day, when some of the teachers, they were sharing that they were sad to see us go and how much we have helped at that school. And this was only our first term there. So I was really surprised, and considering one of the teachers was from pre-K, and we didn't service pre-K. So I found that to be, flattering. And sorry, I'm looking for my water, and it's here. So as I mentioned, I found that to be very flattering. And the reason why it was flattering, it was also surprising because I didn't realize we had that much reach. We worked with primarily first and second graders, and then moved into kindergarten when we completed working with our first and second graders. So for a pre-K teacher to be aware, it was pretty surprising, and it made me feel good too. In addition to being a literacy mentor at Cottonwood and when I served at Sun Valley, I think we, as mentors, we serve multiple roles, or we wear multiple hats. And I felt like we also served in the capacity of life coaches, and we provided safe spaces for these children. So, of course, I'm saddened that due to federal funding cuts, that the program is on pause. Excuse me. And thank you for bearing with me. But I am glad that I was able to be a part of it, and I truly hope that funding gets figured out and the program is refunded, because it's not just about me. It's not just about the mentors and the friends that I've made. It's about the impact that we have made on this Northern Nevada community. And we were planning to spread out to Southern Nevada, which would have been the Las Vegas area. And what we do is just very foundational. But in my mind, if these children are not given these foundational skills, learning how to manipulate and, rhyming, that was an area that the children, seem to kind of struggle with. Um, but I think it started to click. Okay, if I can say cat and if I see mat, then I know, okay, that must rhyme. This must be pronounced this way. So, like I said, it's the very foundational skills that our community needs, especially Nevada, because unfortunately we are towards the bottom when it comes to education. And I think education should be at the very top of everyone's agenda in this state, because literacy, opens the doors for so many things. When you know better, you do better. And I think lack of programs like this can open the door for these kids that are at risk for incarceration, for, not completing high school, not being able to go further, in a career due to lack of education. And it's easy to want to give up when you struggle with basic skills. So I do hope that the funding is re-engaged for this program. Excuse me. And so I want to, highlight, it's a little bit of a family legacy for, my two daughters and I. I was at the time when I saw the listing on Indeed, and I told my oldest daughter, Donica, about it, because she was majoring in education. And she's like, Mom, you should do this too, because, you're a life coach and, people get along with you very well, and so on and so on. And at that time, I was dealing with a stressful job, working at home, doing customer service for Bank of America. And, you never know what type of call you were going to get. I felt like we were the Google for Bank of America. But nevertheless, I told her, no, I'm too old for that. I don't think I have the patience for that. But, as I saw her blossom and as I started to see burnout for myself, I said, you know what? This is something I could, consider. And then when I saw there was an actual opening for a position in the city we were living in at the time, which was Sun Valley. And I was like, yeah, because if I had to, I could even walk to work and, serve the community and, help these children and their families, because they are our future. So this year I had the luxury of serving alongside my daughter, Donica, again, my eldest daughter, at Cottonwood Elementary in Fernley, Nevada. And we also recruited Donrica, who had come back home from college, and she helped by serving at EC Best in Fallon. So it was, great, because at home, if we were dealing with different things, or if Donrica, being, new, if she was dealing with something, we had a little bit of experience under our belts, and we were able to share, our experiences with her or give her encouragement. And so United Readers was not just woven through our classroom, it was woven through our family. And then later on, we had this awesome project manager, Joanna, that came on board. And Dominic, the youngest daughter, she is definitely a bookworm. So I remember her asking for books. And then later on at a training, I remember they were offering books. So Donica decided to take boxes and boxes of books. And I was like, a few were fine, but we ended up making it kind of a contest. So instead of at the end of our lessons, we allowed the children to pick one. And then if they did really well, they were able to pick two books. And it became a thing. They were so excited to come to reading group and be able to have a choice of those books. And that, that was inspiring because I was afraid that we were going to be stuck with taking a lot of books home, because I remember Joanna saying, those books are yours, you don't have to give them back. So that was really awesome. We did, save a few of them. I think it was one of each title if we had duplicates. So that's going to come in handy, and I'm going to tell you about that in just a few. So again, reading is, and I'm even wearing the pen that I got. Reading is sweet, it's fun, it's exciting, and it takes you places, even as an adult. I also want to touch on, with our family, we also, we were juggling a lot. But we were willing to show up every day, when possible, for those kids. All three of us are juggling full-time online college and full-time service. So we were definitely dedicated to what we were doing for those children and our communities. And this meant, a lot for our family and for the children we were blessed to be able to serve and the community. So, transitioning on to the federal cuts. When I first started hearing about the different federal cuts, I think God told me that we weren't going to make it to the end of our contract date, which was June 20th. He didn't tell me what date, but he just told me we weren't going to make it. But I was grateful for each and every day that we were there. And so when we did get that text saying come into the office, and I think it was something about it being urgent, I had in my gut that it was, it was that time. So, I wasn't surprised, but, and again, I was surprised because, we normally didn't get, messages like that to just come into the office. So again, this has been bittersweet because I was experiencing burnout. And to be quite honest, it's time for me to rest. And, I'm okay with it ending early, but I'm not okay with the impact that it has on these children and the community. Because, as I mentioned, we were, that safe space for a lot of the children we served. Many were from homes that were experiencing a lot of trying situations in the home life, and that showed up in their classrooms. Ironically, it didn't show up in ours, but we were able to work with the teachers and not totally just focus on the phonemic awareness. We focus on self-regulation. So that is the part that is bitter for me, is having to abruptly leave the schools due to federal funding cuts. Because the bottom line is we built deep bonds with these students, and these students saw as more than mentors, more than as mentors, but as confidants. So, although United Readers is on pause, I want to let you know your reading support still continues. And I want to shout out to my friend Tracy. She was the first friend I made at one of our trainings. And, we've been friends ever since. And she and I are, I guess I will say I am, video challenge, especially when it comes to editing. So you guys get it rough and raw for me because after this semester is over, the end of next week, I'm going to look into editing. Tracy has picked up that ball and has started editing videos, and she has brought us Chicken Phonemics. So check her out on YouTube. I will add a link to one of her videos in my description. So that is a way for you to still get your phonemic awareness fixes and keep that fire going until the situation is figured out with United Readers. And from me, I'm going to introduce Reading Roni Retreats. And you're probably wondering what's that? Again, another shout out to Joanna and Ellen that gave us all of these books. So the books that I am left with, I'm going to commit to weekly reading, and it is a focus on supporting single parents and early reading at home. And why I say single parents is for all parents and children, but because I was a single parent for many years and it's tough. And at the end of the day, you may not feel up to reading to your children, but hopefully you find my voice soothing and you are able to play the videos and let your children listen. And maybe you're able to listen to, or maybe you're able to take that possible 30 minutes to do something else within your household. So again, I have a special place in my heart for single parents because I believe that is the hardest job I've ever done and still doing as a single mother of 4 adult children and 2 grandchildren. It never ends, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for every day I get another day to do it again, to improve. And that's why I think that the future is called the present. I think it's the present from God. It's another day for a do-over and to be a better me and show up in this world as a better person. So with all that being said, I want to again thank you for being here, and I want to thank Miss Crystal Nevada for creating United Readers and allowing me to be a part of that experience and allowing me to grow as a pillar in the community, because I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about government. I've learned a lot about nonprofits. I've learned a lot about what it takes to keep programs going in the nonprofit sector. And I want to encourage you to support literacy and programs like AmeriCorps, because AmeriCorps is so crucial. Please take some time and visit their site and see all the wonderful things that they do and provide opportunities for mentors like us, myself, and the other United Readers mentors to serve. And we serve not in a paid capacity. We get a modest living stipend, and we do get an education award, which helps to continue our schooling or pass it down to our family members, which is great. But I think the greatest part is the people that decide to, devote their time to their community and making this world a better place. I think that is really awesome, and I think we need more people like that. And I'm glad that I was able to come out of my shell and be a part of something so great and learn so much. So with that, I want to say that I'm sending love to all of you guys on this Mother's Day, and love to the community, because it truly does take a village. And I hope that I'm encouraging you to find a place and time in your schedule to volunteer and help your community, whether that is virtually, in person, or it can even be, through the mail for the sick and the shut-in. There's always a place in this world for your skill, your mindset, and for you to help improve this world by sprinkling a little bit of you into it. So, with that being said, again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting United Readers. And I do hope that you do go to the United Way of Northern Nevada and the Sierra's website and find out how you can support. Because financially, that would be a great help. And I look forward to hearing about your future journeys. And I hope to see some of you at Reading Roni's Retreats. And I do hope and pray that you visit Tracy and Chicken so you can get your dose of phonemic awareness. All right, that's it for now. Please be blessed and remember to be a blessing to others. God bless.